Welcome to Education Perfect. I'm excited to show you how to get started with Education Perfect Science and navigating the science content. Welcome to my Education Perfect account. Today we're going to be looking at ways to find Education Perfect content for science, starting with the top tab on the left navigation bar called Discover. Under the title of Discover, you'll first find a drop-down menu for your curriculum. So I'm going to be working in the New Zealand curriculum today. Then a second drop-down menu for your subject. I'm going to be working in science, but I would like to highlight that within science, this covers the junior and general science programs. If you are looking for senior science content, you'll be wanting to take a look at the earth and space science, chemistry, biology, or physics areas where we separate out the senior science programs. The third category is a drop-down menu for curriculum or year levels. So in New Zealand, we've got the New Zealand curriculum suggested year levels with NCA level 1 in the background there. And these are suggested year levels. So these are designed for you to select the content that is most appropriate for what your students need. If they're year 9s working at the expected year level, you'd probably start at level 4. However, there's nothing to stop you selecting the appropriate work for students working ahead at level 5 or students working a bit below and needing support from level 3. Once you're in any of these folders, they're all arranged the same. You'll start with Nature of Science and the overarching science skills and content. Then it will go into content curriculum strands, so material world, living world, physical world, finishing with planet Earth and beyond, and we may have some extra context, investigations, and topics that are more relevant but sort of sit outside or across these strands. Once you're looking under each strand, you'll find folders containing topics or kind of mini sections of the units. So this one is Introduction to Science that contains 17 activities and it's estimated about 5 hours worth of total work. And this is not for you to give all of this work to students, it's to take a look at and see what do we have in terms of assessments, lessons, and vocab lists, what curriculum outcomes are we covering, and do you then want to add this to your class for students to use, in which case you can go add to course, and you can attach it to the appropriate class or classes. So I might be starting my year 9 class with this Introduction to Science, so I'd pop it into term 1, and it would be added there for me to find and assign work to students later. Similarly, I might be looking at starting off with diagnostic assessment, so I can see the green assessment tag instead of the yellow lessons, and I might wish to add this to that class as well. Finally, at the top here, we have a search bar. So maybe in my first part of the topic, I'm going to be looking at safety. And check if you're not finding the results, you'll feel that you're looking within the correct subject. So I'm looking at science, and this is showing me safety guidelines and hazards for curriculum level 5. If my students aren't already for curriculum 5, what do we have at 4? I have 2 at level 4. What do we have at level 3? So you can search and find the equivalent topics across different curriculum levels before going to grab them, preview them, and add them to your courses and lessons as well. Once you've got a look through Discover, there is a second space called the library just below. This is your space for creating, editing, customizing EP content. And it gives you the science content in kind of bigger folders, but it gives you a space underneath for you to create your own lessons, exams, if you're converting from paper to platform, create your own fact and spelling lists, especially if you're looking at particular vocabulary. And you can create your own personal and private content ready before assigning to students. You can also house shared content under the My Schools content underneath, where you can create folders and pull in by copying content or clicking and dragging content ready to edit or customize. So you might be localizing, embedding in videos, or putting activities, sort of making it your own for you and your school specifically. Back at the homepage, we added some work to the course earlier. I added that to my Year 9 course. So if I go and select my Year 9 science class, the first thing that pops up is the course. Now this one is pre-filled in. You can see I've got a lot of activities here, and I will grab one that's a little smaller here. So this might be a partially completed one where I've got term 1 filled out, term 2, and a little bit of term 3. But maybe I am now starting to think ahead about what am I going to pop in for term 4. If I click add topic, what it will do is it will bring up the Discover library. This is where I was earlier, so it remembers where I was. Maybe I'm going to go and add some level 3 work for Planet Earth and Beyond. Let's look at the solar system and add that. And maybe I want to pop something in there at level 4 because I think I've got some students who might be ready for that as well by that point. So maybe I want to put some solar system at level 4. So I've got the equivalent matching ones there for level 3 and 4. And if your school has access to licenses outside and subscriptions outside of science, maybe it's also purchasing maths, social science, or English, you can actually pull resources from other classes so long as your school utilizes that topic as well. So you might want to pull some numeracy, context, and skills from maths. You might want to pull some writing skills from English, or there might be some particular topics in social sciences that overlap in terms of graphing, sustainability. There's a whole range of things that you might want to pull from all sorts of areas and incorporate that. You can do so. So you can build this up if you're running more of a STEM course, pulling from other areas of the curriculum, or pull in those underlying skills as well. Once you're in here, you can also go and start to assign work to students too. So we take a look at Introduction to Science. This now gives me extra options. I have these boxes. Maybe at the start of a topic, I want to see where students are at before going into explicit or whole class teaching. It's a really good idea to select either all or part of your topic. So we're going to be looking at maybe not careers, but definitely safety and equipment. So maybe I want to grab some things like graphs, diagrams. Maybe I'll just grab some really key skills. And then from there, I can assign it as a quiz, because what assigning as a quiz will allow me to do is to see where my students are at. It will take a combination of 30 questions spread evenly across this content, Introduction to Science. Maybe I'll call it a bit of a quiz. And then it will let me know, how are students doing in these key topics? Where can I focus my energy and effort on next when it comes to setting my next EP task? But on top of that, students, once they finish their quiz, will automatically get some differentiated follow-up recommendations. So a task will be created for students once they complete this quiz, which gives them what they need to work on immediately next. And so they can have catered individual work that also supports the whole class or explicit instruction I'm going to follow up with next. So I'll go ahead and assign that because that's where I want them to start. And you'll see everything that I've got quiz questions for now has an active token next to it here. And when I hover over it, it gives me a view button where I can click and go back into that activity. So while it's active, I can monitor students' progress and see how they're getting on. And I can go to the report and collect and see the data, including the data insights for where students' strengths and weaknesses are, what they've been recommended, and what the next steps are for them as well. And if I go back to my class, you might also notice I've gone into one that I've set earlier. So I've got an active task here, but I can also see ones where students may have finished it. If I want to see what they have and haven't done on EP, I can get a whole topic picture. And if I go ahead and do something maybe for later, maybe we'll tackle careers in science towards the end, I can assign this as a task for either my entire class or even for specific students. Maybe that's going to be in a couple of weeks' time. as an end of topic task. And when I assign things for the future, I can see what's upcoming. So you can get a whole picture of what EP work have I used in the past, what am I using now, and what have I got coming up? So you can build that picture over time in your course, as well as seeing in your classwork page that sort of overview as well. This overview can be handy because you can see a running list of what's active and who's assigned work and who's done. But the course will let you see within those tasks and activities, what have you used, where's the gaps, and what you might wish or not wish to use based on your topic as well. One final note here, this area of the course is one of our most areas under active development. So this is a really good space to give feedback, make suggestions. So if you ever see a feedback button, usually on the right-hand side of your screen over about here, please utilize that, because when those buttons pop up, that means the developers are looking for getting teacher voice to prioritize the next steps in development. And this is a chance for you to really have your say of what you'd love to see. If you also want to get in touch with us at any point, we have our support down here, where you can get support, have a live chat with us, book a call, and let us know ways that this could be utilized or built to make it more effective for you and your classes. You'll also have a share button. So if you've built out a topic and you want to share it to, maybe you have multiple Year 9 classes and you want to copy it across, or you want to create one and copy it across to other teachers in your whole department, so you all have a shared kind of foundation to start with, and then everyone can take it from there, but you're not having to rebuild the same thing multiple times. So hopefully you're feeling a bit more empowered to get underway with using Education Perfect in science. What I did want to say is thank you for watching. Thank you for your time today, and hopefully you're excited to dive straight in. We are here helping you amplify your impact.